I know some youths will start wondering, huyu mzee kwani kuna shida gani? He has started talking about ISHMAEL Chelang'A. Who is this ISHMAEL Chelang'A? Ukisikia hii story, I know you'll be tempted to hit the till number. But on a serious note, ISHMAEL Chelang'A had made a lot of things that even people who were working with him in provincial administration would not even dream about. This is a district commissioner who, while in one district, he did things in another district, things that other district commissioners would not even think about it. And what he did, the law only allowed a provincial commissioner to do it. And he did it not in the district that he comes from, or not in the district that he works in, but in a district in another province, whereas the powers would only be given to a provincial commissioner. He did that and it was effective. Namtadu, of course, to do nothing. He is the person whom administration police officers shot people dead in his compound. Nothing happened to him, although the administration police officers faced the law. So, he had the unique things. And imagine, he died at 40 years. How many, today the ADOs are called what? Assistant County Commissioners. How many assistant county commissioners, or how many people in the national government, GAO, who are 40 years old, are even county commissioners or sub-county commissioners? But he died at 40 years, and he had been a provincial commissioner in 2 provinces. So he was in the 2nd province when he died. ISHMAEL Chelang'A is also somebody who did not come out clearly to state his tribe. When he was somewhere and he saw there was a lot of Marakwets, he would say, I am a Marakwet. When he sat somewhere where he saw there was a lot of Pokots, he would say, I am a Pokot. Even in his death, his tribe was not established. But he used to confuse between the two for his own advancement. That is ISHMAEL Chelang'A for you. He was born in 1957, and I want to state here that his tribe he was a Marakwet who came from Pokot land. That is his. Now, he was born, in blood he was a Marakwet, and he was born and brought up in Pokot land, West Pokot district, or now West Pokot County. He went to the university. During our time, there was only one university. He went to Nairobi University, Faculty of Education, which nowadays is called Kenyatta University. When he was at Kenyatta University, he graduated with Bachelor of Education and became a teacher. He taught at Kapsabet High School, or Kapsabet Boys, and then later transferred and joined the provincial administration as a DO. He was a DO in the Isiolo Marsabit area at the time when I had just joined Special Branch. That is when we met. I was a constable. That's a polite way. But I was a recruit, because you spend a few years after completing college when you're still a recruit, and then you are confirmed. So those days, for you young people with mobile phones, those days we used to have landline only. So him, another person I remember was Augustine Lomonyin. Augustine Lomonyin was also a DO who rose to be a district commissioner in Isiolo, and later rose to be the commandant of the Administration Police College in Embakasi. So them plus other Pokots would call the office, landline in the office, looking for the late Daniel Mariach Pogisio. Mariach Pogisio was the immediate elder brother to Samuel Losuron Pogisio. So even Senator Samuel Losuron Pogisio and other prominent Pokots would call the landline in the office, and I would take a piece of paper in the few occasions that Mariach was not around. So someone would say, I have sent money order to my people, and I have sent 3,000, the amount that is supposed to. Then each one would tell me what they wanted the amount to be done. I see young men and young women saying, sasa ngiri tatu ni pesa za hata kuambia mtu, ni zile tu naamka asubuhi na namrushia mzazi. At that time, 1983, 3,000 shillings was the equivalent salary of a police inspector and a police constable combined. Now, if you meet a police officer and they are free with you, ask how much does an inspector get and how much does a constable get, combine them. Na kukuwa na M-Pesa kusema confirmed sijui nini. People would send, this is good for the youth people to understand what we were facing when we were their age. You would send money through money order, and your parent would get the money order from the post office, and your parent was supposed to explain who has sent that money order and where that person is. So ISHMAEL Chelanga's parents would come. I give them the paper explaining everything. They would go to the post office, and it is not just ISHMAEL Chelanga, but I'm only talking today because it is about ISHMAEL. Those people, even Senator Pogisio, even Lomonyin, and so on. We would organize for the paper to be taken to the families, and the families would go to the post office. You go to the post office, you are told to tell, you say, I'm expecting 3,000 shillings from Isiolo, from ISHMAEL Chelanga. If you don't know who is sending, and if you don't know where the money order is coming from, I'm sorry, you cannot get that money. So that is how we came. And whenever these people came to town, wakati wako off or leave, I used to be compensated well, because they would say that I used to be in standby. Whenever they rang the office and Mariachi was not there, it is me who would take the message. This is how we became friends with several of them. Then, if ISHMAEL Chelanga was a DO, then he served as a DO for a very short time. And then he was made a district commissioner for Uasin Gishu. He was made a district commissioner in Uasin Gishu. That was 1990. Now, when he was made a district commissioner in Uasin Gishu, there was a lot of insecurity and smuggling along the Kenya-Uganda border. What did he do? He declared a curfew in Bungoma. I have paused. This is a district commissioner in Eldoret. He declares a curfew in Bungoma, Bungoma being in Western Province. And who had powers to declare a curfew in any place in Kenya? It was either a provincial commissioner or the minister in the office of the president. But this is a district commissioner who was doing that. And instead of being castigated, he was transferred to Nakuru as the deputy provincial commissioner. Those days they used not to be called that, they used to be called personal assistant to the provincial commissioner. Shortly, Anguka had his own problems with the Ouko issue, and Anguka, who was the district commissioner in Nakuru, left, and ISHMAEL Chelang'A was made the district commissioner Nakuru. He used that opportunity, together with the president's aide-de-camp, or the president's immediate former aide-de-camp, Brigadier Boynet. They went and grabbed land. I'm saying they grabbed land. He did not buy that land. He grabbed land next to Boynet. They grabbed land not in Nakuru, but in Eldoret. That land, they constructed houses there, and that land was being guarded by government askaris, not watchmen. Then one day, that was when he was, later on when he was a provincial commissioner, he rented out the houses. One day, he got new tenants. So when he got new tenants, it was now for the Kenya Power people to go and reinstall power. They were to go to reinstall power for the new tenant. And so these APs who were guarding the compound, when Kenya Power people came to reinstall the power, the APs shot them and killed them, saying that they mistook them for burglars. Somebody's house being guarded by armed APs. That is where we were from. There was a special branch officer called Mr. Masika, senior superintendent. He was beyond the retirement age. The retirement age was 55 years, and he was past that age. So, being past that age, he continued serving. Then one day he wrote a list. He wrote a letter. The letter is called SF. SF in special branch meant secret file. Pol F could mean policy file. Those were the administrative file like correspondence and something. He wrote an SF, a secret file, where he mentioned people who had grabbed land in Eldoret. Those of you who are watching me from Eldoret, or those who usually pass through Eldoret, you know about Barngetuny Plaza. Barngetuny grabbed that plot, and he never paid even a single cent. He said Chelanga, as the district commissioner, he had grabbed, and neighboring to him, Boynet had grabbed that. Immediately, Boynet was made the director of intelligence. He came across that file. By then, Masika was 57, going 58. And he said, hey, nambona hamukukumbuka huyu mtu amefikisha miaka ya kuretire. And then Masika was retired. That is how things were. They could forget about your age, or could I say that you are in good books. When you're in good books, they forget you are. Lakini ukianguka in the bad books, then they remember that you are past the age. Then I say that Anguka had a case with the Ouko issue. Then the deputy provincial commissioner, because that time deputy provincial commissioner was the same rank with the district commissioner. He was deputy provincial commissioner Rift Valley, and Haji, the father of the DPP, he was the provincial commissioner. His deputy was Chelanga. Then Chelanga shortly served less than a year as the district commissioner Nakuru. And then Haji was transferred to Western Province as the provincial commissioner. When he was transferred to Western Province as the provincial commissioner, ISHMAEL Chelang'A was made the Rift Valley provincial commissioner. Then later, during a reshuffle, he was transferred and made the provincial commissioner Eastern. And it was during the time when he was the provincial commissioner Eastern that he had that accident. I have Googled, and I usually don't like using Google. I have Googled to find out anything that could be relevant for this. And I found the only thing that Google talks about ISHMAEL Chelang'A is the accident, and they also talk about the fact that when he was the Rift Valley Provincial Commissioner, he came up with an idea. He came up with an idea that instead of these tribes which are fighting in Northern Rift, they be given land and they be taught how to farm and then stop cattle rustling. Yes, land was given out, and apart from a few natives or locals who were given 5 or so acres, the who is who in government were given up to 200 acres. Tumetoka mbali. So as I complete this, I'm saying, in the Google, they only talk 2 things about Chelang'A. They talk about the accident and they talk about the land that he gave out that later was dished out to who is who. So nikisema mimi ni afadhali kuliko Google, I'm sure mtakubaliana kwamba hii neck top computer inafanya kazi.